Hi everybody, I just wanted to give you a quick uh, update or just a quick video on how to graph data that's collected in the lab. So the first thing you want to do is find Logger Pro on the computers in the classroom. Logger Pro, and I've got a bunch of stuff on my dock here, but Logger Pro has the little calipers and a little squiggly line. You'll see that, and you want to click on that and open up Logger Pro. And as long as there are no sensors plugged in, which at least in the beginning there should not be any sensors plugged into the computer, then you'll get this screen. And this is our basic graphing screen. And you'll notice you've got your data set here, and it's going to graph over here. Let's take the first lab we're doing, which is position versus time. And I want position to be on the y-axis and time to be on the x-axis. So I'm just going to make up some data. The first thing I'm going to do is double click where I'm pointing right here on that x. That's the x-axis, but I actually want time there. Excuse me, time there. So I'm going to double click. I just double clicked right there, and I'm going to type in time. The short name for time is actually the letter we're going to use, which is T, and the units will be seconds. And then I'll click on done. I'm going to go to the y-axis. I double-clicked on the y-axis, and I'm going to type in position. And I don't want a y, I want an x. I know that's confusing, putting the x on the y-axis, but it's horizontal position, and that's going to be in meters. Okay, I clicked on done, and notice that now it's also put these names here appropriately. And let's just make up some data. Let's say that you collected this is 0 seconds, I don't know, 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, and 2.5 seconds, okay? Just totally made it up. By the way, you should have done more than one trial when you collected the data. So these are the averages for every data point. So you should do at least 2 or 3 trials per data point. These are the average times for each data point. Let's say you start the car at, I'm just going to make up a number. Let's say you started the car for some silly reason at 0.2 meters instead of 0 meters, which you probably did. And then the next time you collected data, it was at 0.5 meters. And then the next position you recorded the time was 0.75 meters. And then let's say 0.95 meters. Again, I'm just making this up. And then 1.2 meters. And then 1.5 meters. Okay. And so here's your data. Notice it plotted my data for me. I want to maximize this. So notice that it stops right here. And I want to use the whole screen. So there's a couple ways to do that. I can hit the auto scale button, which is way up here, that A. And that's actually a really good way to do that. So now it kind of maximizes the whole thing. I can't see this data point up in the top corner. I don't like that. So I'm going to actually click down here in the bottom right-hand corner where it says 2.5. I'm just going to click and type in a different number. I'm going to type in 3. That just changed the scale without changing my data. And also, I can't see this up here because it's maxed with that. So I'm going to click on this number and type in something else. Let's type in, for position, let's type in 2. No, that didn't like that. Let's type in 2.5. Okay, now it kind of shifted it down, so I can see that better. Okay, so you've plotted your data. You should always start. Something I don't like here is notice that this 0 is on the x-axis. You should always scale your graph starting at 0 on the x-axis and 0 on the y-axis, even though 0 is not a data point the way that I plotted it. If that happens to you, the way you can rescale it so it starts from 0 is to just click on the lowest number you see on the axis. In this case, I'm going to click on the 0.5, and it tells me what the lowest number is on the axis. I'm going to just type in 0 and press enter. Now it's just rescaled everything. Now the most important thing now is you look at this and say, gosh, What kind of relationship is this? Is it a straight line? Is it a curve? Is it what? Well, this looks like it's a straight line. It's experimental data, so it's not necessarily perfectly straight. You never want to just connect the points. You want to draw either you want a curve or a straight line or whatever. Well, if we decided that it's a curve, I mean it's a straight line, there's two ways to get the computer to put that on there. I can either go click, this is a shortcut right up here, this button that says linear fit. It'll draw a straight line for me, or I could click on this, which will allow me to choose different curves. If you forget that, you can always go to Analyze and go on down to linear fit or curve fit. I'm going to choose linear fit. And so now it's giving me my straight line. I'm going to drag this over here a little bit, and whoopsies, put that right there. Notice the brackets. It has bracketed the data. That is the best fit line between this data. And here's the slope, 0.5029 meters per second. That represents the velocity in this case. Here's the y-intercept right here, which is 0.2214 meters. The y-intercept in this case, the graph indicates that that was the starting position of the car at 0 seconds. Position on the y-axis at 0 seconds. That's how I want you to graph this stuff. When you come to print this, I want you to go to File, go to Page Setup. Don't forget to do this. Go to Page Setup and choose Landscape Mode. And then go to Print Graph. No, sorry, stop. Go to Print. Don't go to Print Graph because that kind of ruins things. There's a bug in the program. Just go to Print and print this thing, all right? And then you can put in a name here so you know it's your data and not somebody else's graph. And then go ahead and click OK. Only print one graph. Do not print more than one. You can also take a screenshot because you're going to add this to your lab report. You can take a screenshot of this so that you can just include that screenshot with your lab report. That's going to be uploaded to Canvas electronically. That's a really good idea. I would print one copy per lab group in landscape mode because it's easier to see, and then I would take a screenshot just so you have it. You could always take a photo if you need to, but screenshot's really a great way to do it. All right? So later on, we'll get into how to graph if you have a curve, because you can do curve fit. I'll just show you really quickly. If you hit curve fit, you've got all of these choices that maybe it's linear, maybe it's quadratic, maybe it's inverse. All right, here's an inverse relationship. There's all sorts of options, but we'll talk about all those a little later on, okay? All right,